let's say that I have a boss or colleague that wants to know how many unique types of cheese we've promoted last year. And what you could do is you could go down a list and with a notepad and a pencil, type in sharp cheddar, goat, Fontina, Colby, bread. Oh, don't type bread again. Don't type Colby again. Don't type Fontina again. Oh, there's blue cheese. Oh, there's a mild cheddar. Write that down. Mozzarella. So my point is, you can do a lot of pen and paper, pencil kind of thing. Or we can do a couple other things. One, we can create a filter. And we can do a drop down here to see all the different cheeses. Right? All these different cheeses. And now we can write them down. Or there's a better way, much simpler way. We could grab this entire column. So what I mean by grabbing is hit center mass on C and hit Control C, or right click and hit copy, or go up here and hit copy, and open up a new sheet with this plus sign, paste it in there, and now what we can do is highlight all that data over to the word data up on your tab, and see this button here, remove duplicates? Delete duplicate rows from a sheet. You can pick which column should be checked for duplicate information. So if I had multiple sheets, I could easily click on all of the columns within those sheets, and it would automatically do all that work for us. So I just hit the button. 20 duplicate values were found and removed. 12 unique remain. So now I can copy this into an email, or I could say there are 12. There are 12 unique ones. Okay? So let's take this a step further, shall we? I'm going to zoom in here and show you something really cool, okay, with some of the stuff that you've been learning. What if your boss said, hey, that's great, now that we have 12, but how many times have we promoted each one? Now you're like, uh-oh, how do I do that? Well, now we can put a count up here, or number of promotions. That might be a better way to display it. Make sure you use that data ink, so you bold that. Now we're going to go to that count if. So count if is the function. We're gonna do equals count if. Okay, and I'll open up the wizard for you. The range. So where do we want to look for it? Well, let's look in the offer information, and we're gonna go and look for in column C, because that's where the cheese name is. What's the criteria? Well, we could type in the word sharp cheddar. Right? We could type that in, and look, it found one. But here's what happens when we do that. You know, it's going to find sharp cheddar everywhere because it doesn't matter. We put sharp cheddar up here, even though we're in the mozzarella line. So the better way to do this is instead of typing in the thing you're looking for, simply reference it. Simply reference it. So in the criteria box, and I apologize, I cannot zoom in on this box further. The criteria, I'm going to left click on A2. And now it's referencing sharp cheddar. So here's what happens. We have our 1, but then when I drag this down, look at all this magic. We have 2 for goat, 7 for Fontina. Holy moly. Wow, a lot of choices there. A lot of different ones. So the next thing we want to do here is let's make a column chart. Okay? So let's do a column chart on this. So we'll grab all of this information. We'll go up to Insert, and we'll do a column chart here. And look at that. Look at that. Hey, boss, here's all the information. And maybe you want to do a number of promotions, right? Total promotions. Okay. So now we're going to do a sum in there. So we had 30 promotions. Because remember, we originally had 32, but we removed 2 of them because they were duplicates. So now, look at this information we have for our boss. And you can make this chart look nice and change it up. And, do all those things there. I'm not going to spend too much time on this here. Just know that that would be your responsibility to make sure it's clear and easy to understand. Okay, maybe you would put an axis over here and axis over here. We don't really need a legend because number of cheese promotions. I don't know, something a little easier for the boss to understand. Okay, so that's a great little chart there. But let's take this a step further. One step further, shall we? So now we're going to do percent of total. That's fun. So percent of total. Okay? So we're going to take equals B2 divided by 30. Okay? Divided by 30. And what this brings back, we'll make up a percentage out of this. 3.3% of the promotions were related to sharp cheddar. Wow, isn't that wonderful stuff? Isn't that wonderful? So I'm going to show you something here. It's going to be wrong, but I want you to see it so you know how to fix it. I'm going to drag this down and watch what happens. You see all these division by zero errors? Well, let's double click on the first one. And you can see it's referencing this, which is correct, but now it's referencing this empty cell, this null cell down here, which it's treating like a 0. We want it to reference that 30. So we could go back up here and we could go in and type B14 instead of 15, but there's a better way. It's called absolute cell references. Okay, just going to move this chart out of the way. We don't need it anymore. And what this means is we have to put dollar signs in the reference areas. So what I mean by that is we want to freeze that row 14 reference. So let's put a dollar sign. So shift 4 gets us a dollar sign up there right in front of B14. And I'll copy this out so you can see it a little bit better for you. This is what your formula would look like right there. B2 divided by B14. Watch what happens here. Voila, magic. Let's double click where they first saw that division by 0 and it froze it. Let's go down here, double click, it froze it. Perfect. That is using absolute cell references. So now we can tell the boss, yep, we had 30 total promotions. Here's the breakdown. And, you know, the majority of them were 7, and it came out to be about 23% of the total promotions. Okay, so that's a great little combination of how you can prepare some data for an analysis or for a discussion using a visual as well. Certainly could use a visual. Okay, so wonderful stuff here.